So this is my first time speaking here, which is pretty cool. I attended for the first time last year. This is Adam's first time, but we are both from Jamf, and we help build a lot of kind of like plus one additional things that we do at Jamf, and we're here to talk about one of those today, which is Onboarder. So to give you a little bit of a background, uh, kind of what we were doing 2.5 years ago or so, it kind of was brought up that all of our sales engineers, solutions engineers, all of our people that were like demoing to actual customers had these very bifurcated, broken demo environments. They didn't really have anything consistent. New features would kind of go by the wayside. They wouldn't get implemented. People would have to log into other tenants to actually be able to show anything. It was just a problem. So we wanted to build a better, more consistent infrastructure for that. So we started building it. So the first initial version of that was a bunch of instances you could log into and show off on a call. Great. The second version of that, the kind of natural follow along, is what if we want customers to enroll and like actually see any of this stuff in their environment? So that was the next version. That's what you see here. So we built Experience Jamf basically as a uh, kind of a fully integrated built Jamf platform. So all the tools that we do from management through security, network security, content filtering, all of the features, all enabled, and you can see them easily by clicking through a couple things in self-service. We even built a custom iOS app that walks through a whole bunch of really cool functionality. But then the natural next question came. Okay, but that's great. But what if we want to get all these configurations into a brand new environment that has never used Jamf before? They're a brand new Jamf customer. What do we do with that? So we started working on this thing called Onboarder. Onboarder now, like 2.5 years on from actually starting this whole project, now is an part of the email invites you get when you're a new Jamf customer, which is kind of cool. But the idea of it was, what if we can give a whole bunch of kind of no regrets, easy setups that will get somebody up and running? We know that anytime that you're adopting a new SaaS product, the odds that you actually get the full benefit out of everything in a short period of time are minimal to maybe zero. So we wanted to maybe give a little bit of a nudge, and not really the same thing, obviously, but we wanted to kind of poke it a little bit and just kind of help people get a little further along in the process than maybe they would have otherwise or on their own, without having to involve professional services or contractors or anything like that. So we settled on Terraform. Guess what? Lots of IAC talk, right? So we settled on Terraform to do this. We started working with Deployment Theory, which, if anybody didn't know, is Lloyd's of London. And they had built a community Jamf Pro provider. So we started to build some things with that, and we built quite a bit. We actually published the repo. It is fully out there. There's even a template if you have never done this before and you wanted to just get started. There's all kinds of cool stuff we're building with that. And fun announcement, I actually get to make an announcement, which is kind of cool. We announced a platform API last year that we have been working diligently on at Jamf, and we have a fully integrated, fully supported platform provider for Terraform today. It has fully launched. So kind of a cool thing that we get to actually talk about. Yes, it does exist, which is fantastic. But just to see, what does Onboarder actually do? It's kind of just a web front end, but the whole background is all Terraform. So this actually spins up a GitHub workflow in the background, and it takes in all of your options and choices, and it builds Terraform modules and actually executes those against an instance. And then it's all ephemeral. It all just disappears after that. So we only take in the credentials to do the thing, and then we nuke it after that, which is great for a new customer. That's awesome. Most of the people in this room, if you use Jamf, you're not a new customer. If you don't, let's talk. But the great thing here is that we realized, okay, we could actually be a lot more strategic. So instead of just doing a whole bunch of like apps and compliance benchmarks and some configurations, maybe some extension attributes, some smart groups, we realized, no, we can actually be a little bit more strategic. So we started to work on what we call environment onboarders, or kind of like extensible, mostly focused on actual outcomes. So things people are actually deploying to their environment. Maybe they don't want to have to go through the process of building it all out. Maybe they want kind of an easy button to get everything flowing. So we built a few. We have one for Chrome Enterprise. We have one for CrowdStrike Falcon, Sentinel-1. All of the things that you can deploy with our products. So we wanted to make it a little easier. The cool thing is that it can be fully built at any time just by building a JSON. It tells the web front end exactly what to do, what modules to call, and then all you have to do is go to the URL that it creates. Pretty simple. So we can make new ones ad hoc whenever we want to, which brings me to PSSO, which is another huge topic I'm going to let Adam talk about.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Just to gauge the room, who in here is using Platform SSO today? Okay, about half the room. That's good. That's awesome. You're using Modern Identity on your Mac. So for those of you who have set up Platform SSO, has that been a struggle a little bit to get that set up? Yeah, we got lots of heads nodding. So what Ryan and I wanted to do was we wanted to build out this workflow without you actually having to go into Jamf, modify a config profile, modify your pre-stage enrollment, upload a package, and really just have what we have here on the screen, which is a fully zero-touch PSSO enrollment workflow. So we're authenticating right now with our Okta credentials on a brand new computer. We're going to go through that initial setup process to kind of show you what this is building out. So right now it's grabbing the config profile that the onboarder is going to go ahead and upload to your Jamf Pro. In the background as well, your identity provider's application, so either Okta Verify or the Microsoft Company Portal, are going to be required for Platform SSO. And if you never used Platform SSO, or if that's like a new term for you, in the past you might have bound your Mac to Active Directory. You might have used a tool like Nomad, thanks Joel, or Jamf Connect. But Apple introduced Platform SSO a couple years ago, and this really is providing modern identity on your Mac. So in the background, we have Jamf Setup Manager running here. It's going to go ahead and do all of our background tasks. It's going to name our computer. It's going to go ahead and encrypt the disk. It's going to go ahead and install self-service and any other kind of core applications that we need. So this is really what a true zero-touch experience should look like here in 2026. And then finally, you'll see we have Okta Verify installing because we can't go ahead and create our account on a computer with PSSO without that IDP app. So on the next screen, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're actually going to go ahead and authenticate one last time. And that's going to actually go ahead and get our local account set up on a computer. So everything's finished here. We're going to go ahead and select continue. So you'll see the single sign-on for Mac window. This is something that gets turned on in a pre-stage enrollment for your automated device enrollment. I will say this, out of all of our support tickets, about 90% of them are misconfigured configuration profiles. So you'll see here, I'm signed in as Jane Appleseed. It's syncing my password because I'm using password sync. And really here in just under a couple seconds, we have our local account created on our Mac. So there's no third-party tools or anything like that. This is a native functionality that's baked into Mac OS. Today, the two IDPs that support this are Microsoft Entra as well as Okta. Our friends over at Ping are working on this as well, hopefully later this summer for anybody using Ping. And then here, we're going to go ahead and set up Touch ID with Okta Verify. Something new that's coming with macOS Golden Gate is going to be the ability to actually require Touch ID at every login. So that satisfies a lot of high compliance environments. So it's nice to hear that news at WWDC. And now we're just going to go ahead and continue with the setup. So this is the exact same setup, whether it's Microsoft Entra or Okta. So again, one last authentication here. We're going to go ahead and get a push notification sent to our device. I'm going to go ahead and approve that on my mobile phone.
Mobile phone not pictured.
And now the computer is actually registering with the IDP. So like back in the day, you would bind to 80, or you're binding a Windows computer to 80. It's registering that computer with the IDP. So you could see it in Okta, or you could see it in Microsoft Entra. And then before you know it, we're going to be at the home screen. And what's really cool in this example is if I go ahead and open up an app, like as an example, Jamf Security Cloud, or if I open up Microsoft Teams for the first time, or if I open up Slack, it's just going to go ahead and pass those credentials through. So a very nice seamless experience without any third-party tools. Um, yep.
So then what we wanted to do is because we also recognize, like looking at this configuration, as Adam pointed out, it's complex. There's a lot going on with it. There's a lot of little bits and pieces here and there that you've got to make sure are right. You've got to make sure the right checkbox is checked. Well, we've done all the work to know what these settings are. Like this is something we do from a professional services standpoint, from a pre-sales, post-sales, POC. Like we do it all the time. So we're able to do this a little bit more directly and a little bit more in a bit more of a prescriptive fashion, rather than you having to troubleshoot and submit tickets and all the usual stuff that has to happen there. So we built this. Now this is a fully integrated Okta PSSO onboarder. It'll go through. It can authenticate through Jamf account, which supports our SSO efforts that we've been doing. You can also use a local Jamf Pro account, so it doesn't really matter. You can use either one, whatever happens to work for you at that time. And then all you do is you put in the information that's required. So the Okta short URL, the org name, whatever you want that to be, the PSSO client ID, and the SCEP URL. And then from there, we just go ahead and build everything out for you. So what's really cool about this is that you're just kind of waiting for it to happen. It's kind of like giving a prompt to AI and just letting it do its thing. Once it's ready, all you have to do is go and change the smart group, because we scope it in such a way that it doesn't just drop everything onto a system with Onboarder. That's very intentional, but we build it all out. So the smart group intentionally has like this little fake nonsense serial number in it that will basically result in 0 devices ever being in it. So all you got to do is remove that factor and you're done. So you don't have to do the additional work. You don't have to worry about anything beyond this point. Now here, I eventually skip this video because it does take a few minutes to finish and validate that everything actually completed. So you'll see this skip here in a second. But then we'll actually go into Pro and you'll be able to see everything that actually did get created. And I should say too, we are consistently adding to this. I think the Sentinel-1 version of this actually just happened, or just got officially merged into the repo, I think a couple days ago. So if anybody even has feature requests or thoughts about how we could even more onboarder type things that we could do, we are open to that. Also, if who here has heard of Jamf Concepts? If you're a Jamf customer, cool. So we know there are a few people, which is great. We are publishing these there, so you'll actually be able to see as we add new environmental onboarders or environment onboarders, they will all be there. So you can see all of this complexity, everything that you see here, from all of the SCEP settings, all the different pieces, the actual Okta Verify app configuration, that's in here automatically. We dropped in all the variables, formatted them all properly. You've got your PSSO at setup. All of that configuration is done properly and dropped in, and all you really have to do is modify the smart group, like I said before. All the associated domains, the single sign-on domains, everything's there, everything's ready to go, and it was created in just a couple minutes. Like I said, fully working, known good scenario. As long as you provide good information to the onboarder in the first place, you'll be golden, which is the whole idea. So with this, and you can actually, I think I go to it here in a second. Yeah. Here's the policy to actually push out Okta Verify as part of this entire enrollment process. Everything attached, all good. And then here you'll see that we actually did do this just moments ago. So just to kind of show, like, yes, this did all just create. It is all brand new. Aside from that little skip on the loading bar, everything else is real time. So pretty cool here. So we wanted to provide a few resources. One on the left is the platform SSO kind of documentation that we've been building, or mostly Adam. He's kind of our guy on PSSO. This is a great resource. It has write-ups on Entra, Okta, simplified setup, and everything that gets added, we're constantly updating. The beauty of the Jamf Concepts website is that we have full editorial control as a consulting engineering, solutions engineering team. So we can actually go in and make sure these things are updated really quickly.
We get to bypass marketing pretty much.
Yeah, we get to bypass marketing. It's kind of neat. Yeah, it's a lovely place to be. And then also we have our infrastructure as code and Terraform pieces that have been written up mostly by my colleague Neil Martin, myself, and my colleague Shane Brown. We've done quite a bit of work to make sure that a lot of resources are there. And there's a lot of getting started, kind of kickstart type things to kind of get you up and running with this whole approach. So wanted to share those. And then the last thing we want to talk about is that we have these live lounge things that Adam and I have been doing. The idea of these is to kind of go back to what JNUC used to be in a lot of ways and what Jamf Nation Live tends to be today, but even a more stripped back version. So the idea is to get everybody in a room, have it be open forum, learn about things, discuss new topics, kind of dig deep on technical topics, and have that open forum. We've done 5 of them so far: Philly, New York, San Francisco, Columbus, and we're going to continue to add more. So this QR code is an interest form, just basically gauging, would you guys think it would be a cool idea to have an infrastructure as code workshop, obviously focused a little bit more on Jamf, and what city you want it to be in. I have a feeling a lot of this room is going to pick Toronto, which is on that list. But we'll have this in front of a lot more people as well to make sure that we get a nice balanced approach. But we wanted to kind of gauge interest and see what everybody thought about doing one of those.
It's a full day away from work in a nice, relaxed environment. We've actually, everyone that we've done so far, it has sold out like within just no marketing, literally just us telling people and posting on LinkedIn. And the neat thing is they're all led by us, by the SEs. So there's no marketing fluff or anything like that. And it's really nice networking opportunity. It was actually born out of an idea that I had at our Jamf Nation user conference a couple years ago. I went to a session. Session wasn't what I expected. I was like, where can I go to kind of hang out that's not the expo hall? And we wound up creating a room called The Lounge that we debuted last year in Denver. And then our boss was like, hey, why don't you take this lounge thing on the road? So yeah, we had about 100 or so people that attended all the different events that we've had so far. And yeah, we're looking to have a bunch of them coming up this summer and this fall. Open to everybody. You don't need to be a Jamf customer. We're all friends here. The one really thing that I wanted to point out with this kind of lounge concept that we have is things like infrastructure as code, things like platform SSO. You could watch Ryan and I on podcasts online. You could watch us on YouTube videos, JNUC sessions, things like that. But being able to actually ask questions in person, being able to actually like open up your laptop and go through the configurations together, that's what makes these events so special for everybody. So it's a full 8-hour day, refreshments, lunch is all included. So and it's very nice because you get to disconnect from work, you get to disconnect from home, and you're in a room with a bunch of other Mac admins just like yourself. So I did want to highlight one other thing just on the previous page, the Platform SSO site. That's getting a major refresh next week. So we have some new stuff that was introduced at WWDC. We also have some new variables in automated device enrollment that need to be selected and things like that. And we just want to keep you updated. So Platform SSO today, password authentication, secure enclave are both supported. Tap to login is something that a lot of people are excited about. I have it working with an open source IDP, but Microsoft and Okta are working on support for that. But as these concepts kind of start to mature, as the identity providers start to get on board, that's where we're going to be posting kind of all those updates is on jamf.it/PSSO. So there's a lot of really good information on there. Definitely check it out if you have a chance. And thank you so much.
Yeah.